10 things British kids did for fun before screens. Before TikTok, PlayStations, and hours of streaming, childhood in Britain was a world filled with imagination, scraped knees, and laughter echoing through quiet streets. Kids didn't need endless gadgets to be entertained. They had playgrounds, back gardens, and a few clever games that shaped generations. From collecting marbles to climbing trees, these activities brought pure joy. Today, we look back at 10 things British kids did for fun before screens, celebrating the simple, timeless ways children in the UK made their own fun long before the digital age. 10. Collecting and trading cards or stamps. For many British kids, the school playground was not just for running about. It was also a bustling marketplace. Long before Pokémon cards swept the world, children were busy collecting and swapping cigarette cards in the early 20th century. These colorful cards, tucked inside cigarette packets, featured cricketers, animals, military heroes, and even historic landmarks. By the 1960s and 70s, football stickers became the craze. Kids clutched their albums tightly, eager to swap duplicates to complete a full team. Got, need, echoed across playgrounds as deals were struck. Meanwhile, stamp collecting, encouraged by teachers and parents, taught patience and curiosity about different countries. These hobbies weren't just entertainment. They taught negotiation, social skills, and a love for collecting that often lasted into adulthood. In a way, they were the loot boxes of their day, but without screens or Wi-Fi. 9. Climbing trees. In nearly every village, town, and city park across Britain, trees stood as natural playgrounds. To kids, a sturdy oak or chestnut tree wasn't just part of the scenery. It was a test of bravery. Children scrambled up trunks, reaching for the next branch, feeling that blend of fear and triumph that came with height. Tree climbing wasn't just about showing off. It was about escaping to a place where adults rarely followed. The top branch became a lookout tower, a pirate's mast, or a secret meeting spot. Scratched knees and torn trousers were badges of honor, proof of adventure. Generations of children fondly recall these climbs, often returning to their special tree years later. It was physical, imaginative, and utterly timeless. Childhood distilled into a single act of courage. 8. British Bulldog. Mention British Bulldog to anyone who went to school in the 70s or 80s, and you'll see a grin of recognition. This high-energy playground game was equal parts excitement and chaos. One child stood in the middle of the playground, while the rest tried to dash from one side to the other. Anyone caught joined the bulldog in the middle until one player was left undefeated. It was fast, physical, and often ended with kids piled in laughter, or a few minor bruises. Some schools banned it for being too rough, which only added to its mystique. Children played anyway, sneaking in a game whenever teachers turned a blind eye. British Bulldog remains one of those memories that instantly transports adults back to their childhood, reminding them of when playtime was about speed, resilience, and sheer fun. 7. Playing football in the street. In Britain, football wasn't confined to organized pitches or expensive kits. All you needed was a ball, sometimes a battered one, sometimes just a tennis ball, and a couple of jumpers thrown down as goalposts. Streets, back lanes, and local parks became makeshift stadiums where legends were born. Street football was about imagination as much as skill. Kids pretended to be their favorite players, from George Best to Alan Shearer. Arguments broke out over whether the ball had gone in or over the line, but they were quickly settled because the game mattered more than the score. The shouts of "Car!" brought everything to a halt until the road was clear, and then it resumed as if nothing happened. For many, this was their first taste of teamwork, competition, and pure joy, the foundation of Britain's footballing passion. 6. Building dens. Few childhood memories are as magical as building dens. Indoors, it meant raiding the linen cupboard, draping blankets over chairs, and crawling inside to a world of imagination. Outdoors, it meant scavenging sticks, cardboard, or old planks to construct a hideout in the garden or woods. Dens weren't just shelters. They were kingdoms, bases, or private clubs where only those in the know could enter. Children made secret passwords, scribbled "No Adults Allowed" signs, and declared ownership of their little kingdoms. Some dens stood for a few hours, others for entire summers. This activity wasn't about cost. It was about creativity, teamwork, and a sense of independence. Every den held a story, and every story became a cherished memory. 5. Marbles. Every spring, pockets rattled with colorful marbles, ready for battles drawn out in chalk circles. Kids flicked their prized marbles with precision, trying to knock opponents' pieces out while keeping their own safe. Winners sometimes claimed the marbles they conquered, which gave every game real stakes. Marbles came in endless colors: swirls, cat's eyes, clear glass, and having a rare one meant playground bragging rights. Collecting them was half the fun, winning them was even better. The tradition runs deep in Britain. Since 1932, the World Marbles Championship has been held in Tinsley Green, West Sussex, proving how deeply this game is embedded in British culture. For kids, it was simple, competitive, and endlessly fun. 4. Skipping ropes. Skipping ropes weren't just for exercise, they were the heartbeat of playgrounds. Children skipped alone, practicing rhythm and tricks, or joined long ropes swung by two friends as others leapt in time. Double Dutch, where two ropes turned in opposite directions, was the ultimate challenge. But what made skipping special were the rhymes. From teddy bear to I like coffee, I like tea, these chants turned a simple rope into a game filled with laughter and song. Each playground had its favorites, passed down from one class to the next. Skipping blended movement, music, and imagination. It was an activity that bonded friends, kept kids active, and filled break times with joy. 3. Hide and seek. Simple but endlessly entertaining, hide and seek was a staple of childhood across Britain. One child counted with eyes covered, while the others scattered to hide, behind hedges, under staircases, or squeezed into cupboards. The tension built as the seeker called out, "Ready or not, here I come." The best hiding spots were legendary, sometimes used over and over until everyone knew them. The thrill wasn't just in hiding, but in trying not to giggle when footsteps approached. Hide and seek required no equipment, no preparation, and no adults. It was proof that the best fun often came from the simplest of games, powered entirely by imagination and suspense. 2. Hopscotch. Hopscotch is one of the oldest playground games in Britain, with roots going back to Roman times. By the 20th century, it had become a playground classic. Kids drew grids with chalk on pavements or playgrounds, numbering the squares before hopping through them on one leg. The challenge came in throwing a marker, like a stone or beanbag, into the right square without messing up. It was a test of balance, coordination, and accuracy. But hopscotch wasn't just physical, it was social. Kids chanted rhymes, took turns, and cheered each other on. Chalk-stained pavements dotted with hopscotch grids were a familiar sight across Britain, marking the territory of childhood play. 1. Playing conkers. No list of British childhood games would be complete without conkers. Every autumn, children hunted horse chestnuts, carefully choosing the roundest and toughest ones. A hole was drilled through, a string threaded, and the battles began. Two players took turns striking each other's conker until one cracked. Victories were counted. Kids proudly declared their conker a champion if it survived several matches. Some even experimented with soaking conkers in vinegar, or baking them to harden the shell, though this was often frowned upon as cheating. Conkers was more than a game. It was a seasonal tradition that defined British childhood. The excitement of autumn wasn't just in crunchy leaves or chilly air, but in the sound of chestnuts clashing on playgrounds across the country. The 10 things British kids did for fun before screens remind us that the best games didn't need batteries, Wi-Fi, or controllers. They needed only imagination, friends, and a little courage. From conkers to tree climbing, these activities created memories that shaped generations. And their magic still lives on in nostalgia. Thank you for watching this video. Please don't forget to subscribe and turn on the notification bell.